Ever stop and think, why are we, individually, the way we are? Are we really born with personality? Is it really random? Or does life hand us the ingredients to cook them up ourselves? So let's get one thing straight. Personality isn't just about whether you're the life of the party or the person sneakily exiting through the bathroom window at the first sign of karaoke. Oh no, it's way more layered than that. Think of personality as your brain's operating system, and much like your phone, it can have the occasional glitch, hello, sudden social awkwardness, or run like a dream, depending on the day. In psychology, personality is defined as the patterns of thoughts, feelings, and behaviors that make you, well, you. So basically, it's why you love pineapple on pizza, no judgment, or why your brain decides to replay that embarrassing thing you did 3 years ago right when you're trying to fall asleep. Nice timing, brain. Scientists often break personality down into 5 big categories, known as the Big 5 personality traits. No, they didn't name it after a basketball team, though that would have been cool. These 5 traits are: number 1, openness. How much you enjoy new experiences. Like, are you down to try skydiving, or do you break out in a cold sweat just thinking about it? Number 2, conscientiousness. How responsible and organized you are. Basically, are you the type who remembers to water your plants, or do you have a cactus for the simple reason that it can survive your forgetfulness? Number 3, extroversion. How social you are. Do you thrive in a crowd, or does just the thought of mingling make you want to fake a phone call? Number 4, agreeableness. How nice and cooperative you are. Are you the peacemaker, or are you ready to debate anyone, anywhere, on whether pineapple belongs on pizza? Number 5, neuroticism. How prone you are to stress. Do you freak out over a parking ticket, or do you shrug it off like, it's just money? I can make more by not eating out for the next month. We've all got a little bit of each of these traits, but the combination and level of each is what makes up your unique personality cocktail. Now, the big question, are we born with it? Okay, so let's dive into the nature argument. In other words, the idea that you came into this world pre-packaged with your personality traits, like a Costco-sized box of quirks and preferences. If you've ever met identical twins, you know they're like copy-paste versions of each other physically. But what's wild is how similar they are personality-wise too. Scientists have spent years studying twins to see how much of who we are is in our genes. And guess what? The findings are kind of crazy. Identical twins, even when raised in totally different families, like one could be a snowboarder in Canada and the other a barista in Brazil, still end up with eerily similar personalities. It's like they've got some secret twin telepathy thing going on. One classic study looked at twins separated at birth, and when they were reunited years later, they had bizarrely similar traits. Both liked the same weird flavor of ice cream. Both laughed at the same dad jokes. We love a good dad joke. And both had the same nervous habits. Kinda spooky, right? The takeaway here is that your genes give you a pretty solid personality blueprint. Some researchers even say up to 50% of your personality is hardwired into your DNA. But before you throw up your hands and say, well, guess I'm just stuck with who I am, hold up. Nature is only half the story. Let's chat about nurture. Alright, now, for the nurture side of things. You know that age-old saying, you're a product of your environment? Turns out, it's not just something your mum says when she's giving you side-eye about the friends you hang out with. Your environment, family, friends, culture, that one time you completely embarrassed yourself in front of your crush, shapes who you are just as much as your genes do. Take childhood, for example. You might be born with a natural tendency to be shy, but if you're raised by a family of extroverts who never let a quiet moment pass, you might end up learning to crack jokes and mingle like a pro. And let's not forget about the culture factor. In some cultures, being assertive and bold is seen as the way to get ahead. In others, being more laid back and chill is prized. These cultural norms shape how we behave, which over time influences our personalities. So yeah, your personality isn't just influenced by what's inside you, but also by who and what's around you. Speaking of your environment, have you ever noticed that people from different places just seem to vibe differently? Studies show that folks from more individualistic countries, like the US, tend to score higher on extroversion. Meanwhile, in more collectivist cultures, like Japan, people might be more agreeable and reserved. So, yeah, personality is shaped by more than just your DNA. It's also about where you are and who you're with. And sometimes, that includes that one friend who insists you'll learn to love kale. Spoiler, no, you won't. Alright, now the million-dollar question, can you change your personality? Or are you just stuck being the way you are forever, like some kind of personality Groundhog Day? For a long time, people thought personality was like a bad haircut. You're stuck with it until it grows out. But good news, recent research says otherwise. Turns out, you can change your personality. It's called personality plasticity. No, not plastic surgery for your soul. More like a mental workout where you gradually change certain traits. For example, if you're introverted but want to be more social, it's possible to train yourself by putting yourself out there. Yeah, it's awkward at first, but the more you do it, the easier it gets. It's like going to the gym for your brain. Similarly, if you're a chronic procrastinator, looking at myself here, you can actually work on becoming more conscientious. It won't happen overnight, but small changes over time can make a big difference. Studies even show that people who set goals to improve their personality traits, like becoming more organized or less anxious, can see real changes in just a few months. So, if you've ever said, I wish I were more outgoing or I need to chill out, guess what? You can make that happen. Oh, and speaking of goals, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell if you want more brain-boosting content like this. I mean, if learning about the mysteries of your own personality isn't a solid goal, I don't know what is. Also, if this video has you feeling all reflective, maybe drop a like too? Alright, back to the action. So, if personality can change, does that mean you're just a different person every decade? Well, not exactly. While there's room for growth, your core personality tends to stay relatively stable over time. Think of it like your favorite hoodie. It might stretch or fade a little, but it's still your trusty go-to. This concept is called rank order stability, which basically means that even though your personality might shift slightly as you age, the general pecking order of your traits stays the same. So, if you're a bit of a neat freak in your 20s, odds are you're not going to turn into a full-on slob in your 40s. But maybe, just maybe, you'll loosen up and leave a few dishes in the sink every now and then. It's like your personality is a tree. The roots, your genes, are there to keep you grounded. But the branches, the way you express those traits, can grow, bend, or even break as you go through life's weird twists and turns. And yeah, maybe one day you'll look up and realize you're a bit different. But you're still fundamentally you. Just, maybe with more emotional intelligence and fewer embarrassing moments, hopefully. So let's recap. Are we born with our personalities or do we create them? The answer is, drum roll, please, both. You start with a genetic template, but from there it's a whole mix of life experiences, culture, and yes, even your own decisions that make you who you are. The best part, you have a say in it. Whether you want to be more organized, more social, or just a little less stressed out, cue deep breaths. You can take steps to shape your personality. It's not a quick fix, but over time, with intention and effort, you can change certain traits if you really want to. So, yeah, while you might not be able to control every aspect of who you are, you're not stuck in the same lane forever. You have the power to steer, just don't forget to enjoy the ride.